been in the army for 20 years, but I've never felt so scared in my life. But the sheer joy of coming round and finding out that they got it all was just incredible. I was diagnosed with lung cancer in November 2018. What had happened, I was working as a music teacher and I noticed my voice going a little bit weak when I was teaching the lessons, but I also sang in a band and I couldn't sing anymore. So I went to get that checked out and I saw a throat specialist, and he had a look down and realised that one of the vocal cords was paralysed. Now, there's two vocal cords and they sort of like wobble together to make the sound of your voice, but one wasn't moving. And he said, well, normally that can be something a little bit more sinister because something's pressing on the nerve. So when I had that investigated, obviously then they found, looking through a chest x-ray, that I had a mass on my lung. And that was the reason they think that why it paralysed the vocal cord. Immediately, like, my heart just sank. I think the word cancer, and I think most people think death. I just tended to think lung cancer was one of the worst cancers and there was no way through it. And my immediate thought was, oh no, how long have I got to live? And he said, well, you need to hold it up, just slow down a little bit. And panic does set in. I was sweating, I could feel myself getting all edgy. But then actually, when I was able to reflect a little bit, he said, look, you can have a biopsy. The biopsy did then tell me that I had stage 2 non-small cell lung cancer. But there could be curative intent. So that was like, something that was actually gave me a bit of hope. I'd never really heard about having like surgery on the lung. Then I started reading about it and realised you can have a wedge resection, you can have the whole of your lung, a lumpectomy. And this is what the first consultant I saw said that I'd probably go, because it was close to the heart, they didn't think they could get at it. Anyway, I was able to see a leading surgeon in the Midlands, Dr. Calcutt, who was amazing. And he said, look, we don't have to do an anectomy. We'll have to do a lot of replumbing as such, but if I can clamp the artery behind it, and then they sawed my windpipe down so you could clamp it. It was incredible, really. I will be able to just do a lobectomy and take just the top lobe away from the left lung. 6 hours later, I remember opening my eyes and the surgeon just told me we've got all the tumour out and there's a negative margin around the whole lot. It is incredible what can be done, to operation-wise. If it's caught early enough, and I think that is the key. 3 weeks actually after the operation, I blew my sacs to see if I could still do it, because I wasn't sure. That's what I've always done in my life. I was really worried that I wouldn't be able to do this anymore. And amazingly, I could play it still. If I was to go for a 10-mile run, I'd probably struggle. But I think we all probably would, for those who don't do that much exercise. But no, I can play my saxophone. I've done gigs with bands. I could play for 3 or 4 hours. I play in a German umpire band, and we do like pop songs, but in a German style. So it's a bit of a comedy band. So that, so carrying speakers and stuff to events, that was a little bit tricky. But just to get on stage again and play, and we played a few music festivals as well, and just see the crowds again, and that would be nice now because of the COVID. It was just super, it was just like, oh, this feels like life's back again. I'm back to normal again. For me, that quick diagnosis was massive, because it could have easily not been diagnosed. I could have been in stage 3, stage 4 within a month or 2, and the outcome could have been very different. It's absolutely apparent that if you do feel symptoms, if you do feel short of breath or you're coughing a lot, and you're not sure, you just feel uneasy, go and get yourself checked. I can't stress that enough to people, because however scared you might feel, it's do it, because it's never going to be as scary as when you find out you've got it. And if you do have it, you've got to believe that you can get through, because you can survive on evidence that you can get through.